What's up everyone? Klein here with Team Discmania, and today I'm going to be giving you a little run through of what I'm carrying in my bag. Let's get to it. Alright guys, to get it started off, I've been putting with Exo Hard Logics lately for the past year or so. They've been super comfortable in my hand, super trustworthy on the putting green and throwing. These are a much shallower putter than something like a P2 or a P1, which is super comfortable in my hand for me. And they're pretty quick too in the air, so that's another thing that I'm just loving about them. I don't foresee myself switching anytime soon, so Exo Hard Logics for putting. And now for my throwing putters, I'm carrying 3 more Logics. The first one is an Exo Soft Logic that's been in and out of my bag for the last 2 years, I'd say. I like to call this one Old Faithful mainly because it's just my go-to throwing putter anytime I'm in a wood situation or even in the open for little upshots. It's pretty understable, pretty warped, but that just means it's got a lot of love, right? All right, this is a perfect shot for the Logic, a little turnover, and they're great for holding small annies on little upshots. Yeah, this is pretty much my go-to for any straight shot, understable shot, floaty putt, anything I need it for, it'll get it done. Then I have 2 more Logics, a Neo Logic and a Lux Logic. The blue Neo Logic is a little bit more understable than this green one, probably in between that white baseline one and the green one. It'll go whatever distance I need it to go, 200 feet, 350 feet, it'll do it. So this is another one of my go-tos from the fairway and off the tee. My last throwing putter is this Lux Logic. This is a little bit more overstable compared to the Neo one. Pretty wide open shot, about 300 feet. This is perfect for the Lux Logic. Slightly overstable, very predictable, very accurate, very glidey. I'm still getting used to this one, still beating this in to be nice and straight, but I'm loving this one as well. All right, that does it for my throwing putters. Let's move on to mid-ranges. All right, to start off my mid-ranges, I'm carrying a new prototype Metal Flake MD5. Just getting to know this one too, but it's super comfortable in my hand, forehand and backhand. All right, we got a 220-foot shot. This would be a perfect time for a flick for an MD5. It's very overstable, not as much so as a Mutant, a little more glide, a little less dumpy, overstable, but it'll get the job done any headwind you put it in. So super reliable Metal Flake MD5. My other 2 mid-ranges I'm carrying, I have Midnight PROWL 1 Meta Origin. This is pretty understable for a mid-range, very glidey. I'd give it, honestly, a glide rating of 6 if I could. This is useful in the wide open, in the woods, turnovers, hyzers, straight shots, forehands, you name it. It does it. This disc is super workable. I can put it on any angle, any line, and it'll get it done. I can even put it on a power grip and rip it 90–95%. It'll still get a good flight out of it. So it's a super torque resistant, glidey, one of my favorite mid-ranges I've ever thrown. My last mid-range I'm carrying is a Color Glow MD3 Iron Samurai 3. This is more my overstable workhorse mid-range for just fairway shots. I'll throw it pretty flat, it'll go straight with a little bit of fade. I can even throw in a little flex shot if I wanted to. This is just super comfortable in my hand. It's got a slight dome to it, which is perfect for me in the shot and the feel I want out of a mid-range. So this is another one of my favorites. All right, that does it for my mid-ranges. Let's go to fairway drivers. All right, on to my fairway drivers. I'll start off with the most understable is the C-Line FD. This is a pretty perfect complement to that Midnight PROWL I just showed you, but except just a much longer disc. Same kind of thing, any line you put it on, it'll do that. I can use this one rollers, air shots, hyzers. All right, we got about a 330-foot-ish shot. Pretty wide open, so easy spot to just stand up a hyzer with the FD. It's just a super trustworthy fairway driver that I feel like everyone should carry 1, if not 3, in their bag at all times. Next up in my fairways is a C-Line Instinct. This is a disc I've been carrying pretty much since the beginning of the year. It's same mold as the Evolution disc, just in C-Line plastic, and it's pretty close to that FD. It's getting a little beat up, but it's still got some integrity to it. I can power grip, rip this one on high so it'll pop to flat and just give me a slow drift over to the right. Can fight a little bit of headwind, but it's great for a laser straight shot that the FD will just have a little too much turn for. Next up, my overstable fairway drivers. I'm carrying 2 FD3s, 1 Horizon and 1 C-Line. The C-Line is a little bit straighter than the Horizon one. It's my go-to forehand disc for anything inside 350. It's super reliable, super trustworthy, overstable, forehand and backhand. I'll even pull this one out for tomahawks or thumbers once in a while, or even a grenade. Love these, and I'll be throwing these for a while. And then the Horizon FD3, much more overstable, more comparable to a SPLICE, which you'll see in a minute. This one is very, very overstable for an FD3, one of the most overstable ones I've ever thrown. Okay, we got a nice little chip shot with the FD3, probably about 270, 275. Shapes up perfect. So it's just another super reliable, trustworthy fairway driver. All right, my next overstable fairway driver is a Neo SPLICE. The SPLICE is the big brother and the step up from the FD3. Much more overstable, much less glide, more torque resistant, believe it or not. This is more of a utility fairway driver for me. I'll only use it in certain situations if I need a big skip shot or a spike forehand or even a forehand cut roller that holds the whole way. This disc will get it done. My last 2 fairway drivers are the prototype Vanguard. I have a Neo and an S-Line. This is a very straight, torque-resistant fairway driver in the 9 to 10 speed category. This blue Neo is a little bit straighter, a little more understable, but it's super reliable on a little hyzer flip, straight with a little turn. And they glide for days. That's what I've noticed about these, getting to throw these the last couple weeks. They go very far for a fairway driver. And then the S-Line Vanguard is a little bit more overstable, a little more of a wind fighter. I can throw this on little flex shots. I'll get in some forehands with these, inside 375 even. They'll hold the torque. They won't roll over. They'll have a good straight flight with a nice overstable finish. So super excited to get to learn these a little bit more and throw them into some tournaments here soon. So that does it for my fairway drivers. Last up, we'll move to distance drivers. First up in my distance driver lineup is an S-Line DD1. The DD1 is a slight step down from the DD3, but it's still got as much distance and glide as a DD3 does. It's a pretty neutral distance driver that's good for all arm speeds, but for me it fits perfectly with my forehand, upwards of 400, 450 feet. Got a pretty wide open shot here, so let's give it a rip. And this is also my distance roller disc, so anytime I need something that goes way out there on a golf fairway, this will get it done for me. So super nice distance driver that I feel like everyone should try. Next up, I'm carrying 2 PD2s, C-Line and S-Line. I just put this one in the bag because I lost my go-to one, unfortunately, in Emporia here. It's super domey, pretty overstable and glidey for a PD2. So this disc is a super nice wind fighter. It'll hold up to any headwind that you put it in. A disc that you know is not gonna flip over or roll over on you in a wind. And then the S-Line PD2 is pretty comparable, pretty similar to that blue one, just different feel. I'm using this one for a lot of forehands lately, a lot of just force over flex, and just same kind of shot as the blue one, just backhand hyzers, flex shots, headwinds, you name it. It'll get it done. Whatever you put it on, it'll work. Last up in my distance driver lineup, I have the DD3. I'm carrying 3 at the moment, 2 Horizon, 1 S-Line. I'll start with this S-Line one. I've had this one in the bag, I think since the beginning of the year, and it's still holding strong. Still got a good flight out of it, not too understable, and it's still just my reliable go-to distance driver. Then I have 2 Horizon Cloud Breakers, one pretty straight and one overstable. The overstable one is my go-to like long distance driver shot. Even with some wind, it'll hold up to it. Super trustworthy and reliable. It's not gonna fade out or roll over onto me in some wind. So I'm super happy to have this in the bag, something I can trust. And my last distance driver, my last disc in my bag is this white and pink Horizon Cloud Breaker. This is a little bit more understable than that blue and black one, but it's still got some good beef to it. I'll throw it straight or a little bit of hyzer, flip to flat, and then it'll just go for a while. I think this is my longest flying disc in my bag at this point. So anytime I need a wide open shot where I can't bust out a roller, this will be it. Again, super happy to have something like this in the bag where I can get a good rip out of it and get a super nice flight out of it. All right, everybody, that does it for my bag. Thanks for watching, and I'm super excited for this, the new Vanguard. I think everyone's gonna have a spot for it in their bag, and I'm hoping to see everyone throwing it as much as I am. Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one, everyone.